Deep in the shadows of the night, lurking in the darkness, lies the one and only caped crusader of Gotham City, Batman. His physical prowess and combat skills are legendary, but it's his mental strength that truly sets him apart from the rest. For years, Bruce Wayne has honed his mind to become as sharp as any weapon, to withstand the most gruesome horrors that Gotham has to offer. But mental strength is not just about the ability to push through adversity, it's about the discipline to train one's mind, to sharpen focus, to expand the limits of what's possible. And that's exactly what Bruce has done. Through the power of his mind, he has overcome impossible obstacles and emerged victorious time and time again. Meditation. The darkness had taken hold of Bruce. It crept into his mind like a disease, spreading through his thoughts and choking his very being. But he could not let it win. He had to be stronger than it, had to overcome it, had to become more. That was why he meditated. In the cold, silent chamber of his mansion, Bruce sat cross-legged on the floor, eyes closed, and breathed deeply. He focused on nothingness, on the emptiness of his mind, on the void that stretched out before him. But the void was not empty. It was full of nightmares, of memories that haunted him, of fears that threatened to consume him. Bruce pushed back against the darkness, using his meditation as a weapon, cutting through the horror with the sharp edge of his will. He breathed in strength, breathed out fear, and with each breath, he felt himself becoming more than he was before. In his diary, Bruce wrote to his young protege, Robin, about the importance of mental training. Robin, my boy, you must understand that the training of the mind is just as important as the training of the body. The horrors we face in our line of work are not just physical. They are mental, emotional, spiritual. They can break you, Robin. They can destroy you from the inside out. But if you are strong enough, if you have the will to fight, you can overcome them. That is why I meditate, why I delve into the darkness, why I face my fears. It is not easy, Robin. It is not for the faint of heart. But if you want to be like me, if you want to be the next Batman, you must be willing to face your demons and conquer them. Only then will you be truly ready. Reading. As I sat in my dimly lit library, surrounded by dusty books and ancient artifacts, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease wash over me. The weight of the responsibility I have taken upon myself to protect this city is heavy, and sometimes it feels like it's suffocating me. But I know that knowledge is power, and the more I learn about the criminal mind and the history of Gotham, the better equipped I am to fight against it. That's why I spend countless hours poring over these texts, trying to find any insight or advantage that might help me in my never-ending battle. But sometimes, as I read about the atrocities committed by the villains of this city, I can feel my resolve faltering. How can I possibly stand up to such evil and darkness? How can one man make a difference in a world so full of corruption and despair? But then I remember why I'm doing this. I remember the vow I made to myself and to this city. I remember the faces of the innocent victims who have been hurt by these monsters. Uncomfortable situations. Bruce Wayne would intentionally put himself in uncomfortable and unfamiliar situations to develop adaptability and resilience. For example, he would venture into dark alleys, abandoned buildings, and other eerie locations to face his fears and learn to operate in challenging environments. He would also engage in activities that required intense focus and concentration, like tightrope walking or scaling tall buildings, all while being surrounded by the haunting and menacing atmosphere of Gotham City. In addition, Bruce would expose himself to dangerous animals and unpredictable situations to further develop his resilience. He would spend time in the wilderness, alone and vulnerable, to learn to survive in harsh conditions. He would also face his fears of pain and injury by training himself to tolerate extreme physical discomfort, like being submerged in ice-cold water or enduring long periods of physical exertion. All of these experiences were designed to push Bruce to his limits and make him a stronger, more adaptable, and more resilient individual. It's what separates him from the average person and allows him to become the Dark Knight, the protector of Gotham City. Robin, in order to become the Dark Knight, you must be willing to expose yourself to the darkness. The unknown, the terrifying, and the uncomfortable, these are the things that will test you, break you, and rebuild you. It is only by facing your deepest fears and embracing the unknown that you can develop the strength and resilience necessary to become the Batman. You must venture out into the unknown, Robin, and experience things that will make your skin crawl, that will haunt your dreams. You must be willing to confront the demons within and without, to stare down the abyss and emerge unbroken. Only then, when you have faced the darkest parts of yourself and the world, can you truly be ready to take up the mantle of the Bat. Learning to control fear and anxiety. Bruce Wayne understood that in order to become Batman, he must learn to control his fears and anxieties. To do so, he undergoes exposure therapy, forcing himself to confront his deepest fears and anxieties head-on. It's not an easy path to take, but it's necessary if he wants to become the Caped Crusader. He starts by locking himself in a pitch-black room, simulating the claustrophobia he experienced as a child. His heart pounds, and his mind races as he fights the urge to scream and escape. But he holds firm, reminding himself that he is training to become Batman, the protector of Gotham City. Next, he exposes himself to extreme heights, standing on the edge of a skyscraper and looking down at the tiny ant-like people below. The wind howls around him, threatening to knock him off balance, but he stands firm, taking deep breaths and focusing on his training. Finally, he faces his deepest fear, bats. Bruce enters a cavern full of bats, their wings beating against his skin as they fly around him. The noise is deafening, and the darkness is suffocating. But Bruce doesn't give in to his fears. He focuses on his breathing, and gradually, his anxiety begins to fade. Through exposure therapy and other techniques, Bruce learns to control his fear and anxiety. He becomes more resilient, more confident, and more capable of handling any situation that comes his way. And when he puts on the Batman suit, he is ready to face any challenge that Gotham City throws at him. Controlling your emotions. As Bruce Wayne writes in his diary, controlling one's emotions is easier said than done. It's a daily battle, a war with oneself that is fought on the battleground of the mind. When I was young, I let my emotions get the best of me. I was angry, bitter, and filled with a burning desire for vengeance. It was that anger that drove me to become Batman, but it was also that same anger that nearly destroyed me. I've learned that emotions can be dangerous, clouding one's judgment and leading to mistakes. As Batman, I cannot afford to make mistakes. Lives are at stake, and the wrong decision could mean the difference between life and death. That's why I've devoted so much time and effort into mastering my emotions. It's not an easy process. It takes discipline, patience, and a willingness to confront one's demons. But with each victory, with each instance where I am able to control my emotions and make a rational decision, I grow stronger. There are times when I still feel the fire of anger burning inside me, threatening to consume me once again. But I've learned to channel that energy, to use it as a tool rather than a weapon. With each passing day, I grow more confident in my ability to control my emotions and use them to my advantage. Becoming Batman requires more than physical strength and training. It requires a strong will, a determination to overcome one's weaknesses and fears. But with the right mindset, anything is possible. Adaptability. As I write this entry in my diary, I can feel the terror creeping up on me once again. The ability to adapt to unpredictable situations is not something that comes easily, and it's something that has taken me years of training and exposure to achieve. I remember one particular night in Gotham where the Joker had set loose one of his most deadly and unpredictable schemes yet. Buildings were collapsing, fires were spreading, and the screams of innocent civilians echoed through the streets. It was chaos. But I didn't let the fear paralyze me. Instead, I took a deep breath and quickly assessed the situation. I adapted my plans and tactics on the fly, and worked to save as many lives as possible. It's not easy to be adaptable in the face of chaos and terror, but it's a necessary skill for anyone who hopes to become the Dark Knight. You must be willing to embrace the unknown and face your fears head-on, or risk becoming a victim of the very horrors you seek to combat. Mental toughness. As I write this, my mind wanders to the nights when I was left alone in the dark, enduring endless pain and torment. It was during those times that I learned the true meaning of mental toughness. The kind that comes from within, the kind that allows you to push through the agony and keep moving forward. I have faced countless adversaries, both physical and mental, and each one has only made me stronger. I have been beaten, broken, and battered, but I have never given up. My mind is my greatest weapon, and I have honed it to a razor-sharp edge through years of training and experience. I have learned to embrace the pain and use it as fuel to drive me forward. I am unbreakable, unstoppable, and unwavering in my pursuit of justice. My mental toughness is what sets me apart from mere mortals, and it is what makes me the Dark Knight. As we come to the end of this journey on what it takes to become Batman, we must remember that it's not just about the physical training, but also about the mental training. To truly become the Dark Knight, one must have a strong mind and the ability to conquer their fears and anxieties. The path to becoming Batman is not an easy one, but with hard work and dedication, it is possible. Remember, fear is only temporary, but the strength and determination to overcome it will last a lifetime. So, go out there and become the hero that Gotham deserves.